you next then. Yuko Suzuki against So-Yul Kim. This is Japan against South Korea. Yuko is the wife of Hayato Suzuki, a one championship athlete. This is in the women's atomweight division. That's 52.2 kilos. And we talk about clashes in style, Pete. This is grappler against kickboxer. Doesn't get more extreme than that, really.
It doesn't. Let's see what So-Yul Kim is able to do to change the game up so it's in her favor. Because Yuko Suzuki does have quite a stellar record right now, and it means she has a lot of experience.
Am I right in saying, in your view at least, there's no inherent advantage between grappler, striker? Is it more about how well-rounded each athlete is?
Well,
the other skills that have been acquired, I guess?
Yes, well, when you're doing mixed martial arts, you do acquire skills from everywhere, from everyone you train with. So when you're training with good grapplers, you're going to pick up good grappling skills. And if you're not a good grappler and they're trying to take you down to the mats, you're going to pick up takedown defense. So even if you are seen as a striker, predominantly, you will still have trained with grapplers. And if you're leaning towards striking more, you'll still be able to do better takedown defense.
Well, So-Yul Kim is a kickboxer. She's young, 23 years old, has appeared in this event twice before with a one-on-one record, has fought once more elsewhere, and that was a win, competing out of the M Fighter Gym. 158 centimeters tall, giving away a couple of centimeters to her opponent from Japan, who is quite a bit more experienced, 31 years old, 14 mixed martial arts contests, and a newcomer to One Warrior Series.
Touch gloves if you want. Okay, back to your corners.
So it's Suzuki in the red corner with that red strap around her gloves. So-Yul Kim in the blue corner. Suzuki's nickname is Rosebud, which I imagine would probably be my nickname if I was competing in Rich Franklin's One Warrior Series. Just waiting for the opening bell here then in our second contest of the evening. We've got 14 for you today. You're watching us live across a network of platforms, Twitter, Facebook, and the One Championship Super app. Good to have you with us.
Ready? Ready? Go!
And we're underway. 3 5-minute rounds for these women. It's a snappy start. Nothing's landed yet, but busy.
Although So-Yul Kim doesn't have the height advantage, it appears that she has longer reach in her stance. She's already thrown out some kicks, and one of them landed quite well, and the Rosebud going in for a grappling takedown, but she needs to set that up.
Yuko has this hair that has a habit of just dropping in front of her eyes, and I wonder if that perhaps was a poor stylistic decision, because we don't want it to block her vision.
It could be bad when So-Yul Kim's throwing out those hands.
Yeah, a lot of the attacks come from the periphery as well, don't they? Kicks, roundhouse kicks, not necessarily straight at you. She's a busy athlete, So-Yul Kim. Lots of movement there.
She's getting her confidence right now. She's throwing out lots of fakes from the left and the right. She's trying to baffle Yuko Suzuki right now, but Yuko pushes that all aside, goes in for the takedown attempt, but the takedown defense is there from So-Yul Kim, and she keeps it on its feet.
Just slid inside a right hand from So-Yul Kim, and Yuko Suzuki going for that takedown. Now they do head downstairs.
Yuko Suzuki pulled half guard there, but it's not working out too well for her. So-Yul Kim is now in full mount position, and she's trying to throw some hammer fists down, and she now has the back with 2 hooks in. It's not looking good for Yuko Suzuki right now.
She is, though, showing lots of energy, trying to get herself into a slightly better position. Now, what are those hooks doing, Pete?
Well, right now, So-Yul Kim is looking to get a body lock there, but she's on the wrong side of the body. She's over on the right-hand side. She needs to move herself to the left-hand side a little better. But now she's crossed her legs up, and she has one hook in on the left-hand side and a body lock attempt on the right, and she's peppering Yuko Suzuki right now with jabs and punches from the back.
Make no mistake, Suzuki is in a very vulnerable position here. Just look for the arm to go around the throat. That's one possible way out of this contest for Soo-Yul Kim.
And Soo-Yul Kim actually has her left arm on the mat, which is the right arm to have down in order to get the lock, but it's trapped underneath Yuko Suzuki's left arm as well, which means she's not able to get it up and around the throat.
And look at the extent to which the hair is getting in the face for Suzuki. We mentioned it before, it's got to be slightly bothersome. I'm sure she's comfortable. She'll have thought about it before. It's not the first time in the ring or a cage.
Indeed. Well, as an athlete, you want to be stylish, but sometimes those style decisions can make an impact on your ability as an athlete. Soo-Yul Kim working from the back there. She's got an she's basically got an overextended hook there because her legs are very long. And she's working hand fighting right now in order to get that rear naked choke in.
She's really looking for it, isn't she? The left hand is working its way under there, doing all she can to defend this, Yuko.
But Soo-Yul Kim's left hand was at the mat just then, and that is the hand that she wants to finish the match off with. And
there it is, it's looking good. Less than 90 seconds to survive this, and that's a long time.
Soo-Yul Kim completely dominating right now from the back position. She's really trying to get that arm in. She's attempting to finish off Yuko Suzuki right now in the very first round.
She's got just over a minute to do it, Pete. I must say the submission defense from Yuko Suzuki has been effective, but she hasn't been able to get out of this very vulnerable position.
She's busy trying to get the hands off. It's difficult to spin out.
Baby steps, right?
Indeed. Soo-Yul Kim's got long legs, so it's very hard to spin out from that. And like I said, her legs are crossed, which means they are so long that it's going to be virtually impossible to get out.
Has to be said, it's been a number of minutes now that Soo-Yul Kim has been in this offensive position, but she hasn't managed to get into a position where the bout looks as if it's about to draw to a close.
But she's just chipping away right now at Yuko Suzuki, which is good, and it will be a massive confidence boost for her because she is grappling a grappler, essentially. And Soo-Yul Kim is known for, there's an armbar attempt, but one leg is not in the correct position, and she's ended up in a bad place. However, 10 seconds to the end of the round, nothing's going to happen here.
It looks like she's going to get through it, and given that the submission defense has been effective, and let's face it, she finished the round actually on top.
Yes.
You have to wonder, because points are given for submission defense, how would the judges look at them?
Well, for what I'd see, the takedown was an important part, but you know, Yuko Suzuki managed to get a takedown, but only into half guard, and then she didn't really win any points in the judges' point of view because Soo-Yul Kim started to do all the work, get position, do the strikes. So it was not a good round for Yuko Suzuki, in my opinion.
When you consider that Soo-Yul Kim is by far the least experienced of the two athletes, 23 years old against 31, 3 contests against 14. That is quite a start for her in this first 5 minutes.
You have to remember that at that young age that Soo-Yul Kim is, she'll have inherent confidence, and that's going to play a big part in this
The
contest.
fearlessness of youth.
Indeed, yes.
You know all about that, Pete?
Not anymore.
Okay, go!
Start of the second round then. And let's just see if Yuko Suzuki can change the flow of this contest.
Yuko Suzuki threw a good leg strike, but Soo-Yul Kim is now throwing a barrage of blows.
She's eaten a very good right hand from the South Korean. Yuki has no option but to try and go for the takedown, but that didn't work out for her.
It was a very sloppy attempt, and it's put her in a very bad position. A possible Das choke on the way. All Soo-Yul Kim needs to do is to get her left hand to her right elbow, and that'll be it.
It's a thoroughly offensive performance from the South Korean.
Throwing in knees from that position, which is the right thing to do. Let's see if Soyo Kim is able to turn this around or maybe even just slip off to the back using her right arm as leverage.
And with that head secured by both arms, she's a bit of a sitting duck for the knees, but back to their feet they go.
This is somewhere where Soyo Kim could do a lot of damage. Again, though, Yuko Suzuki has shot in for the takedown, but it's just turned out really bad for her because she is tired at this point. Soyo Kim looking to get hooks in. Right now, Suzuki is hand fighting Soyo Kim, but Soyo Kim has a body lock on, not much else. It looks like she wants to pick her up and do a suplex on her.
Right in the corner of our 5-roped ring here.
Indeed, Soyo Kim is on the back. She has one hook in, obviously the right hand side. Of course, suplexes are not allowed in the rules set that we have here today at One Warrior Series.
Now again, the South Korean.
She's working hard right now. She's on the back, she's in a great position, and so far the whole of round 2 has gone her way. She stood up, she threw some solid strikes, and they landed with quite some ferocity. And, you know, in the judges' eyes, that will count highly because it's created damage on Yuko Suzuki.
Yuko trying to get face-to-face here, but it's very difficult for her. Legs are locked up. Very, very hard. Getting instructions to work to a finish from the referee.
I think
But that's the level of the defense we're seeing here. It's been a frustrating time in many ways for the South Korean in that offensive position for the vast bulk of the contest. Got to be careful not to hit the back of the head there. An illegal blow is one that lands at the back of the head between the ears. And all she's seeing at the moment is the back of her opponent's head. So strikes to the noggin, not so easy to target fairly.
Right now, Yuko Suzuki is getting turned around. Soyo Kim is moving into full mount position.
I'm just wondering, Pete, I mean, defensively, offensively, this has got to be tiring for both athletes. Who's this situation here, which we've seen, which has dominated much of the fight, it takes the most out of which of the two fighters?
To be honest with you, the person defending is having to work the most. They're in a bad position and they are going to need to put all their energy to getting out of it. Whereas the person that's on the back, they are going to wear themselves out if they're overzealous with too much striking.
Sure.
You know, trying to squeeze too much on the arm, trying to overstrain. But the person defending is in a lot of problems, having a lot of problems. So psychologically, they're using more energy on that front as well.
Just wondering if Soyo Kim could consolidate the positions she's in the judges' eyes by just throwing 1 or 2 punches into the head there, maybe some elbows here and there, rather than purely going for the rear naked choke.
Indeed, I think Soyo Kim needs to work more strikes here to make sure that she does win the round very, very clearly in the judges' decisions. But of course, we don't judge round by round here at One Warrior Series. It's the bout in its entirety.
Yeah, absolutely, and that is where the strength of this method of judging comes to the fore. Elbows to the forehead now, trying to take the judges out of the contest entirely.
Trying to work the finish there again. The hand trying to slip in, the left hand trying to slip in, but Yuko Suzuki doing her very best to defend that, and she pulled down. So Soyo Kim has said, okay, fine, have some ground and pound.
Final 30 seconds of this round, and it's taken a bit of a turn because now the elbows and the forearms and the fists come in from the South Korean, and the Japanese woman now is really under some pressure. 15 seconds to survive, and the referee is in a very good position to see exactly what her situation is. And this is where she needed to step it up, more than just looking for a submission.
Right now, she is definitely in the winner's circle in my eyes. But let's see what happens in the third and final round. Let's have a look at some replays and see exactly what happened. Okay, here we go. A big, like, left combination.
That was very early on, wasn't it? Pinpoint stuff.
That was. Yuko throwing a good leg kick, but it didn't phase Soyo Kim, and she threw a heavy right hand straight down the pipe.
Yeah, line hit right on top of the forehead, and then that kick to the throat as well. Particularly painful.
Indeed, striking so far, Soyo Kim is very dominant, and I think points-wise, as far as the contest sits so far, she is running away with it.
Those final 30 seconds, that final minute perhaps, where So-Yul Kim was mixing in some strikes as well as the attempt to get some submissions. Not just a question of getting the judge's eye, but it can also lead to submission attempts, can't it? Just by distracting, by weakening her opponent.
That's right. When you're throwing in the strikes and punches and bunches, it takes your opponent off, you know, the defense of all of the ground game and the grappling. So when you're doing some strikes, you can see openings for potential submissions. And that's what So-Yul Kim needs to do. She needs to throw more punches when they're on the ground and then look for a finish.
It was a nice right hand from Yuko Suzuki early on there. She's throwing in that left jab as well. Perhaps noticeable as she came out for that third round. She had her hands on her knees. She looked the more fatigued of the two athletes. They're standing up in this final round and exchanging strikes, and both of them have landed well.
I don't think that So-Yul Kim has received any big shots from Yuko Suzuki so far standing up. So if I was So-Yul Kim, I'd just stay up on my feet. I'd continue to keep this bout standing up and do big jabs on
Oh, that's a great right hand! And it dropped Yuko Suzuki just momentarily.
But that was enough to change position. And right now, So-Yul Kim is in a good position to, well, I'd probably want to stand up if I were her right now and start throwing in some knees. Or get a front hip throw in, or pull her back down to the right-hand side, trip her over my right leg. But Yuko Suzuki is a grappler by trade, so she will have a very good idea of what So-Yul Kim is trying to do.
This 15-minute contest is almost down to the last 3.5. And if Yuko Suzuki wants to win it, she needs to pull something special out of the bag.
Yeah, she's going to change up 2 or 3 gears here. Double leg attempt there, she gets flattened by So-Yul Kim. I think So-Yul Kim's weight is too much for her currently. So-Yul's got the right arm in there. I don't know if it's all the way in or it went to the armpit of Yuko Suzuki. No, it's all the way across right now. So the rear naked choke is about to go in. That is deep. That is deep. I don't think Yuko Suzuki has anything left to give, and she's probably going to tap out.
She'll do very well if she manages to sit through this one. She's been asked if she's going to give up.
Yeah, Joey is wondering whether she's going to give up or not. It looks deep from this position.
She has a clear hand with which she can tap. It's not like they're being forced under the weight of her opponent to prevent her from tapping.
But it breaks.
Escapes.
She does.
Good job defensively.
Too much angle there. So Yuko Suzuki rotated just enough so that So-Yul Kim's arm wasn't in a dangerous position there.
Kim looking for a second attempt, no question about it. 2.5 minutes to do so.
Great spirit there from Yuko Suzuki shown in order to survive that particular submission attempt, but she's going to have to do a bit more surviving as So-Yul Kim is still on her back. She's only got one hook in right now and she's standing up with the other leg. The world is her oyster as far as this competition is going.
No wish to preempt the judges here, Pete, but if Yuko Suzuki does lose this, then she showed a lot of character, a lot of strength and determination, and can be very proud of herself inside the final 2 minutes.
I think what would be good for So-Yul Kim to do here is just keep that body lock on and continue to do those knees, continue to progress, giving Yuko more damage. She doesn't need to take it to the ground unless she wants to get a submission finish, but I think actually she could right now because Yuko is looking exhausted.
She does look very tired, and who can blame her? We're into the final 90 seconds of this contest, and for Yuko Suzuki, oh, that arm looks uncomfortable. For Yuko Suzuki, it's been a very, very intense time. She's been defending herself from the end of the contest, which at times looked seconds away. But in the black shorts there, So-Yul Kim has certainly been the dominant athlete here. Left-handed hammer blows to the head, a couple of good punches to the side of her opponent's head as well. Final minute now.
So-Yul Kim wants to get it on its feet. Yeah, she looks very, very tired, does Yuko Suzuki. It's going to be hard for her to just survive this last 50 seconds. So-Yul staying on her feet now, throwing in very clean, crisp strikes, every single one landing.
And comparatively so, Peter, So-Yul Kim is looking fairly fresh.
She looks
very
super
determined,
fresh.
and that's a good combination to the head.
stuffs the takedown attempt yet again, and she's in side control there. She needs to balance out. Yuko had that left arm to stop her, and So Kim could just pass the guard. All she's got to do is kick her right leg out and get past. Suzuki is too exhausted to be able to do anything about it.
Cardio has played a big part in this contest, and now as we enter effectively the final 10 seconds of this contest, it is the fitter of the two women who we suspect here at ringside is going to have her hand held aloft. She's been on the offensive for the bulk of this contest. Good performance from Kim. Very, very hearty effort from Yuko Suzuki, but we suggest it comes as a losing effort. Just take us through these replays here, Pete.
Big shot with the right hand, followed by a left that wasn't needed. Okay, here again, a big left jab lands flush on Suzuki, and then a counter right, followed by a left hook. Fantastic striking there. That was phenomenal.
Yeah, super stuff.
So you're dragging Suzuki down to the mats to continue some ground and pound there.
Here's the official decision then.
Winner.
As suspected, Kim improves her professional record to 3-1. The M Fighter gym athlete. You're watching Rich Franklin's One World Series.